I want to talk Marcus Rashford, right? We know what he's doing off the field. You know, he's taking on the entire Conservative Tory party, absolutely doing his best to, you know, feed the sort of poor and underprivileged children across the UK, which is amazing. But this kid has 39 goal contributions in his last 50 games, which is absolutely phenomenal in every single which way. It's coming up against Chelsea, a team that he has performed brilliantly against in the last couple of years. United boys first. Actually, we go to the Chelsea guys first of all. Have hope. I need to come to you on this first. Tell me about how much more improved Rashford is since the last time that we did a show together, and how do you guys propose to stop him this coming Saturday?
See, Rashford is one of these guys where the talent is there. He's very, very talented, and I think like that goal that he scored against PSG was huge goal, especially scoring like that, a winning goal of that quality. And I've always said with Rashford, like his best quality is his shooting technique is great. But I'm not yet ready to call him world class or to call him an elite player, because he still needs to do it on a consistent basis in multiple games, specifically in a lot of key games. And he's still not here to the stage where, bro, big game, we can rely and depend on Rashford to really say something. So
what are you chatting about?
Man, let me land, man, bro. Let me land. Let me land.
Cool.
So I think United fans, I just think because he's a United guy and United fans believe and feel that he's the next big thing, they prop him up to a level that he's never going to reach. Like he isn't going to be the next Mbappe, Ansu Fati, or so forth. He'll never reach that level. He's never going to be amongst the world's best. That's never happened.
Disrespect. I don't know about Ansu Fati.
Wait, how are you saying Ansu Fati?
What's wrong with
Terry, can I finish? Terry, can I land? Thank you very much. Before I was rudely interrupted. So, as I was saying again, Rashford is never reaching those heights. It's never happening. So people need to accept that. Like the best he'll reach is pretty good. You know, he'll never be world class. So I just think the best thing for Rashford is I need to see him show up more in big games. That's what I want to see.
Oh, you're done. You're finished. You're finished. Stop talking now. Nope. I'm being rude.
No. I need you to let him finish. Then we come in. Trust me, please.
Thank you very much, Terry. So until I see him, I need a goal in a CL semi or CL final, World Cup semi, World Cup final, Euro semi, Euro final. Those are the requirements. Until you do that, United fans need to stop overrating him. He is a talented player.
Guys, the reason I let him land and the reason I let him finish saying that, this is music to my ears, because this is the exact thing he said about Harry Kane. Okay, Harry, 4 years ago, me and Have Hope sitting in places, 4 years, Harry Kane's this, Harry Kane's that, until he does it in this and that. If Rashford goes on to score as many goals or create as many goals Rashford's done for Tottenham, no Man United fan in their right mind is ever complaining. So that's cool, Have Hope. On the big game situation, bro, let me just share something on the screen.
Thank you, Terry. Give him the actual facts. Talk about truth, bro.
22 years of age, okay, and that's what he's done in big games. So far, years of age.
That's ridiculous.
At 22
enlarge the screen.
I can't see it. Yeah. Hang on, sorry. Let me zoom in a little bit.
Can this source be trusted? What is the source?
That is what he's done there, bro.
One of those was a penalty. One of those against Rashford was a penalty. Sorry, that doesn't count. No, how many of these were from open play? Are these all from open play?
No, they're not open play, but many of them are. Many of them are.
Plus, he's also got about another 5 or 6 assists to go on top of that in terms of contributions on top. And aside from that, like I put this out the other day, if you actually look at what Rashford has done at the same stage in their careers, age-wise, he has more goal contributions than Wayne Rooney, Thierry Henry, and Cristiano Ronaldo. Your disrespect for him is just ridiculous. Now, I'm not even saying he's as talented as those guys, but doesn't it tell you how good he is that he's less talented and playing for much worse teams at 22, a much worse team at 22 than Ronaldo, Rooney, and Henry were, and he still outgunned them?
Listen, I have this
to deserve applause.
I have this debate with HH on a regular, and it's not just with him. It's not about Rashford, a lot of different players. There comes a point where you just have to accept that you're wrong. That's what you need to do. And what happens is every year, different rival fans get their young player, whoever it might be, and start comparing them. Who do they compare them to? They always compare to Rashford. With Arsenal, it was Iwobi. Chelsea, they did it with Tammy Abraham. If you're in the chat, you know who you are in the live chat. You did it with Tammy Abraham. And these people just disappear into the wind, and it's Rashford who's left there standing. there's probably a list of other names. I mean, all Chelsea think all their youngsters are world beaters anyway. But Rashford is 22 years old. He came in a desperate situation for Man United, and he has continued with all the issues that's going on in Man United with the managers, with the board, with everything that's gone on in the last 7 years. He has just kept getting better and better. Now, my issue is, or why I think people's issue, shall I say, Rashford is, either the expectation for me, is so high that it's unrealistic, and they keep it so high and unrealistic to ensure that their point is proved. So they say, oh, he's not consistent. Well, if you look in the last, since the start of last season, he has scored or assisted in 20 of the 35 games that he's played in. So even if he's not scoring, he's assisting. If he's not assisting, he's scoring. He's contributing in those games. And at the same time,
all big games.
No, it's 20 and 35 since the start of last season. It's not all big games, but it includes the big games, like the two that he got in the first game of the season or whatever it was against Chelsea. In that same time, people like Aubameyang has got 19 in contributed in 19 and 41 games. Sterling has contributed in about 23 and a bit more. Mane has exceeded in both in both areas compared to all the four players. I'm not saying Rashford is better than either one of them, but those players, there's respect that's put on their name. Even before Aubameyang scored in the semi-finals, people were respecting him as a forward. Rashford is 20. Has he ever scored in a final? Has he ever scored in a final? Rashford is 22 years old, and people are expecting that he has to score in a World Cup semi.
Don't use age. Stop the excuses. Has he ever scored in a final? Has he ever scored in a final?
Listen, Terry, let me.
But who said he's better than Mbappe? Who said he's better than Mbappe?
It's crap.
What has Ousmane Dembele? No, 1 second. Wait. What has Ousmane Dembele done in a World Cup semi? What has Ousmane Dembele done in a Euro semi and a Euros final? What has Ousmane Dembele done in a Champions League?
He ain't on the same level, bro,
but Have Hope puts him right up there.
Because right foot to left foot to dribble is different. There's
the
difference.
Standards that you have for Rashford, you don't carry for the players that you like. There comes a point where you just have to accept, you know what?
Nix, can I just ask one question? Just one question. No. For all United fans, for all of United fans at the top there, I can see there at the top. Just simple. How many goals has Rashford scored in a final? In major final?
Fam,
how many finals has he played in? How many finals has he played in?
It's a yes or no question. It's a yes or no answer.
The answer is none. The answer is none. But by that logic, that means Thierry Henry is not a top player. Then
that's true. That is true.
Yo, listen, Prime's dad.
Wait. Let Have Hope deal with that. Let Have Hope deal with that.
Deal with what? What did it say?
Henry, the Henry point. Say that again, Terry.
Henry hasn't scored in a major final.
But then look at Henry's impact on the Premier League. His impact. Can I respond?
No, but then that doesn't make sense either, because two things there. Henry is probably the greatest ever player to play in the Premier League. Most people agree with that. But on your logic, he hasn't scored in the final. But at this same age as Rashford has almost double the amount of goals and assists as him.
So Have Hope, to be clear, if you haven't scored in the final...
When you speak about impact, at the same age, Rashford has double the productivity as Henry did, and Henry never scored in a major final. So at this point, you can't use your logic. Doesn't work. It's an oxymoron.
And Henry was at a better team as well.
Basically, all I'm saying is that let us see where Rashford's career goes, because 100% I agree with you. What he's done at this age is better than what Thierry Henry did at this age of 22, 100%. But my thing is that is irrelevant to me. That stat you brought up from Premier... I was like, what is that?
You put everyone else around that same age. You don't say let's wait until their career. You make a judgment based on what they've done at the age. But Rashford, you have to sit and wait because you don't want to be proved right or wrong too early.
Yo, Nix, I'm sorry, but listen, your Prime's dad, your son is watching right now, and he's absolutely sorry. Prime is disappointing you. Listen, you're chatting absolute nonsense when it comes to this, man. Listen to me. You're saying Marcus Rashford, where's the consistency? Before his back injury, he was our best player. He scored in nearly every single game we played in that run that we had. How's that not consistent? Yes, when he came back, he was a bit jaded, a bit sluggish. But that's happens. But what happens? That happens when you come off an injury like his. His injury, it was a serious injury. All right. When you say, "Oh, where's the finals he scored in? Where's the semis he scored in?" Tell me how many finals that Man United and semi-finals Man United have been in anyway in the past how many years?
If he was that good, he would get you to those semis or finals. So obviously, he can't be that good. Then, so.
Stop chatting nonsense. Shut up for 2 seconds. Listen. Man United as a team have not been consistent. So how dare you expect a 22-year-old Marcus Rashford to be the only one in the team to get us to those positions? And then if we get into those positions, he has to be the one to be scoring goals.
Then stop overrating him.
No.
Stop overrating him.
The people that overrate him is actually other fans, because guess what? Half of the fan base don't like him either, bro. What
you know what, KJ?
Nicks, I'm sorry. I'm on one. Nicks, relax.
I agree.
Nicks. Listen, half the fan base don't even like Rashford anyway. So you're talking about Man United fans overrating him. How can we be overrating him when half the fan base call him Trashford, Bandicoot?
No, that's a lie. Man United fans. Your whole fan base said he's the future of football. No, stop lying.
Terry, can I just speak?
Yeah, one sec. What I as well, have hope. I've missed having you on because your logic holds no bounds. Because whenever Hazard was having one of his off seasons with you guys, your excuse for him, you still said he was top 3 player in the world. Yeah. But it's not his fault. It's the manager. It's the players that are around him. But yet you won't allow a 22-year-old Rashford to be given that same excuse.
Sorry, can I respond?
Hypocrisy just spews out of you.
Can I ask you a question?
No. First of all, Terry, it's very rude. Don't compare Rashford to Hazard. Pick Hazard, please. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't.
I'm not comparing the two players. What I'm doing is ripping holes in your your wet paper thin logic. Monster, we'll come back to Danny in a second. Monster, you're going to say something, bro?
It's time for Monster to speak now, because I've heard you lot waffle on and on and on. Listen, I agree when I hear, at the end of the day, Rashford's 22 years old, isn't it? At 22, people don't realize how young 22 is. At 22 years old, the best players to ever play the game were not doing this, barring maybe Messi and Pele. They weren't doing what Rashford's doing, innit? Rashford's up there with the best of the best young players. It's as simple as that. To me, he's not too, in terms of, there's not too much of a gap between Mbappe and Rashford. There's not.
No.
Monster, I didn't say there's not a gap, but there's not too much of a gap between the two. If we're being honest, look at Rashford's goal contributions. Yeah, what's his goal contributions last season? How many was it?
I'm not sure. I know in his last 50 games, he's got 39.
39 goal contributions. Like, come on, bro. Like, he's one of the best young talents in Europe, if we're being honest, innit? At 22 years old, innit? I'm not saying he's as good as Mbappe. He's not as good. Mbappe is better. Yes, he is. He's up there with the top youngest players. I'm talking about the young players, the players in his age group. You didn't hear me say of all the players in Europe. I said of his age group in Europe, he's up there with the best of them.
Do you know what's amazing, man? Let me say this to you now, right? Let me just say this. If the other night it was Mbappe or it was another team, if it was Sancho, Fati, if it was anybody else that scored that 87th, 88th minute winner with a great strike like that, it would be someone like Hope, like, see, that's proper talent. Rashford does it, and it's like, I'm going to play it down. Rashford's definitely in that space. Danny, you were going to say something, bro.
Yeah, no, I actually want to dig deeper into his logic. So please break down to me why, when you're assigning value to something, why Dembele's, his talent level, you put so much value in that, even though Rashford's outputs are superior. Please break that down for me, please.
I love that question. That's just one of the best questions that you've put out there. And let me answer that for you right now. My dear friend, Devil Details me. Thank you very much, man. To put it very simply, I use this thing called the eye test. You see, the issue we have in football right now is people are obsessed with who scored, Twitter, and all these numbers. Football should be used with our 2 eyes. When you look at the eye test, I call them the us. Left foot, right foot, goal scoring, dribbling. The talent is there. Rashford, let's just keep it real. Apart from shooting, he can't really dribble too well. Doesn't really have too much of a football IQ, and in a lot of games, he goes missing.
The what?
Can I just finish?
No, I can hear that. Let him land.
Usman, when you use the eye test, the Usman Dembele is on a different stratosphere to Rashford. Putting Rashford in the same breath as Ousmane Dembele in terms of talent is stupid. You are brainless.
I didn't say
With
talent.
regards
I
to
said
footballing wise,
output.
people put in the same talent.
Listen, wait.
No,
Have hope. Talent
You're
doesn't
right,
matter if you don't get on the
Wait,
pitch.
wait, Monster,
You're right.
Monster, let him
You're
finish
right.
his point. Let him finish.
You're
let him
right.
finish. Go on.
In terms
Go
of
on.
output, I agree with you 100%. I'll be a fool to say that Rashford gives you more output than Ousmane Dembele. That's true. But all I'm saying is that we need to now combine output and your talent. And let's even about output. This whole output. Has he scored in a final or a semi?
Yes, he scored in the semi-final against
A
Man
season
City in the
doesn't-
Carabao
wait,
Cup.
I'm not done with you.
Hold
I'm
on,
not
hold
done with
on.
him.
Carabao
I'm not
Cup.
done with him.
Season. Wait,
He
Danny,
just said
Danny,
Carabao Cup.
Guys, let
Just said
Danny go
Carabao
back.
Cup.
Guys, everyone stop, please. Let Danny go
Sorry.
back. We're having a to and fro here. I like this.
I'm not done with him. I just want to understand, have hope. That's why I'm asking these questions. Sorry, people. I apologize. Because I think we're the same age. Looking at your hairline, you're definitely over 30.
Whoa.
Was
Terry,
Van Nistelrooy world
can I allow
class?
that, man? Terry, can I allow that?
Wait, was Van
Terry, come
Nistelrooy
on.
world class?
Allow that. Yeah, okay.
Was
Okay, let me
Ruud van
respond.
Nistelrooy- have
Let me
hope.
respond. Let me
Was
respond.
Ruud van Nistelrooy world class? Yes or no?